So recently on YouTube, I've been noticing a lot of videos about tourists being killed in Colombia, being drugged, robbed, all of these different type of things. Is Colombia dangerous? Is it becoming more dangerous? All of these different topics. So I wanted to kind of make this video about safety in Colombia and kind of give an inside view because I currently live here. I wanted to give an inside view about what's really going on here and tips and recommendations if you ever decide to travel and visit Colombia. And one thing about the danger, it's kind of funny because back in the United States, I lived in Massachusetts. So it's a city called Lawrence. It's about 30 minutes north of Boston. And I remember my city was actually considered one of the most dangerous cities in the state, probably in the country. And it's funny because never saw any danger. Was never scared living there. Nothing ever happened to me. My whole life living there, I never got robbed, never anything. So I never really understood. So I thought that danger, like I never had a real glimpse of danger until I came here. So like in the United States, you kind of have to really appreciate it because we're very sheltered when it comes to danger. Everything like when it comes to police, like you're very well protected because things here are very different. You kind of see the real evil in the world when you travel outside of the United States because things in the United States are a lot more organized and you're just a lot safer in the United States than pretty much anywhere else in the world. So first thing is just be very grateful if you live in a first world country because you haven't seen real evil. And you probably will never see it if you don't step out of those cities, of those countries, of those, you know what I mean? In third world countries, you kind of really see what real evil is and what human beings are actually capable of and the real bad side of humanity. So first things first, is Colombia dangerous? The short answer, yes it is, and it's always been dangerous. The only difference is that in recent years, Colombia has been promoted a lot more. It kind of feels like the word has been spread that Colombia, about obviously the beautiful women, the beautiful landscape, things like that. It's pretty much, there's been a lot of intrigue about coming here to Colombia, especially with men, because obviously, being real, the majority of men that come here are mostly come for the women. So the level of danger you come across here is pretty closely related to the reason you come here. For example, if you're coming here with your family and you're only doing family things like going to the beaches, just staying in tourist areas, like just enjoying family time, then your chances of coming across danger are pretty low. So obviously there's these certain cases that, you might be walking down the street with your family and you might get your phone snatched out of your pocket, things like that. That's pretty much the only things you kind of have to worry about if you're coming here with your family. Most of the danger that happens here has to do with the guys that come here for the women, for the nightlife, but things that involve drinking, drugs, all of these different things. So if that's your type of atmosphere, it's a pretty high chance you're gonna come across danger at some point. So with that being said, what can you do to avoid danger here? First thing, if you have money, you cannot show that you have money. You can't dress too fancy. You can't carry large amounts of cash on you. You can't, pretty much you have to come here as humble as possible. Try and blend in as much as you can. Me, for example, I'll give you an example of myself. So when I first got, I've been through two situations here. I'll talk about it in future videos. But when I first got here, you know, like I'm the type of guy, I come from a city in Massachusetts. It's called Lawrence. Frankly, most people there just know how to dress. They dress nice. They're not used to blending in, as per se. So when I came here, I just always bring my best clothes. I was using jewelry, all of these type of things. Don't do that when you come here. What that does is pretty much putting a huge target on your back. When people come here, people here are humble, like are dressed very basic. You don't see much fancy cars here. You see a lot of like little cars, a lot of fuel efficient cars, motorcycles, all those type of things. So if you come here and you're too flashy and you're too just seem like you have money, it opens up a lot of people's eyes here. They pretty much wonder, like, where's this guy from? Like they see an opportunity. And when I say that, I'm talking about the robbers, kind of the bad people. I'm not talking about the good people, because there is a lot of good people here. You will meet probably the best people that you'll ever meet here. The humblest people, nicest people, everything. But you also meet the most evil people and all these things. So pretty much you have to think about it in their perspective. If they see you flashy, look like you have money, because I've had that happen to me. It actually happened to me twice in Cartagena, that I'd be at the beach, somebody would come by trying to sell me something, and I'd respectfully say no thank you. And they'd kind of get mad, because they'll say, like, they think, like, I had this one guy tell me, oh, you look like you have money, like you look rich, pretty much. So you kind of have to like be very careful with that. So when you think about it in their perspective, when they look at you, they're pretty much looking at you as a come up, as an opportunity to get money. So you have to make sure to blend in as much as you can. And also, so the second point, if you're coming here to meet women, be very careful. I'll do a separate video about dating, but this kind of closely ties, the dating closely ties to the danger, because most men come here, like I said, for dating. And for example, if you're using like dating applications like Tinder, all of these different things, you have to be very careful, because the dangerous people actually use women as a lure. So you have to make sure that when you talk to any women here, you have to make sure that like you have to get any type of their information, like their social media. If you see that they don't want to give you any personal info, like their Instagram, any social media, that's a huge just red flag. Just do not go for it. Or if it's just a woman that you kind of feel like is out of your league, or like that's just coming on too strong, like just very obvious. Like you have to really know how to read people's body language, and have a sense of what their intention is. That's very important here, because if you don't, if you just get blinded by the women, then you're gonna come across a lot more danger than you think. Don't get too comfortable here, because the occasions that happened to me, I kind of just got way too comfortable. I kind of felt like nothing would ever happen to me, because I just was not thinking about the danger. I was just thinking about the fun and all of these things. So that brings me to my next point, the nightlife. Your highest chance of coming across danger has to do with the nightlife in Colombia. The nightlife is probably like the easiest way for the bad guys here, the bad people here, to have access to you. For example, if you're the type that likes to go to clubs and do drugs or excessive drinking, then you're pretty much the prime target for the dangerous people, like to get robbed and all of that type of things. So what you have to do is, for sure, control your drinking. And if you do drugs, just avoid drugs in general here. Like, drugs are a huge no in Colombia. Any type of drugs, even smoking marijuana. Like, I honestly, in my whole time being here, I've never seen not one person smoke marijuana, anything like that. Just avoid drugs, period. Avoid drugs as much as you can. But drinking for sure is, in Colombia, is probably like one of the main things to do here. Like, that's what everybody does here, drink. But if you're going to clubs here, do not get drunk, or just don't put yourself in a situation that you can't control yourself, or you're gonna forget what you did, or any of these type of things. Because the worst combination is drinking and women. Because what they'll do is they'll use women to entice you. You'll drink, you'll get drunk, and then you'll put yourself in a situation that the woman will drug you, and you'll pretty much get robbed. When you wake up, you'll see all your accounts drained, you know, like all your personal belongings stolen. So, like, ways to avoid that is just make sure you get the woman's info, make sure they're giving their personal info, because you have to know the red flags, pretty much. And another thing here is just try to avoid going out clubbing alone. Always make sure to at least try and make friends here. Like, go out in groups. You're less likely for something to happen to you if you go out in groups. If you're alone, you're pretty much a huge target. Me, I came here to Colombia alone. So I know I was always a huge target, which is why, you know, things have happened to me. But I came here alone, just honestly because I just never had friends that were as adventurous as me, that, you know, wanted to travel on a whim like me. And I'll tell you those stories in different videos. But just avoid anything you can to be a target. Just do not go out alone. Don't go clubbing alone. That's probably like, you're probably the biggest target. And another thing is too, if you're from another country, you're going to stand out here. You're going to stand out. If you're in one of those tourist cities, like, you know, Medellin, Cartagena, all of those, you're probably not going to stand out as much, because there's a lot of tourists and all of those type of things. But the city I'm in now, there's almost no tourists. And so avoid just going out alone. So with all that being said, I did not make this video to deter anybody from coming here. Like, Colombia is like one of the most beautiful places. I've had some of the best experiences, and also some of the worst here. But this video is not to deter anybody from coming here. I highly recommend people visit here, visit Colombia. Like, it's you're gonna meet a lot more good people than bad. So for sure, visit here. Like, I recommend it. I only made this video to kind of inform you about the real dangers, and then just to kind of like to help you avoid the dangers. Because when somebody open-minded and adventurous, they never really think about the danger. They only think about the experiences, the fun, you know, like all the positives. So this video is kind of just to inform you that just to be very careful. Be very, very, very careful. And like always, please help support my channel. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. I have some videos coming up, and I highly appreciate the support. And stay tuned for the next videos.